Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope we're doing great today. Happy Wednesday. We've got 12 matchups on this NBA slate today, so be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my betting links in the description below to get in on the action. Go ahead, turn on those notification bells, and yeah, we'll hop in it here. A very busy slate today. We saw last night we had the Warriors lose and the Lakers lose. Big wins for Denver and Phoenix last night. And now we get a full slate of NBA. It's NBA season here. And if you guys like doing betting on player props, guys, go ahead and sign up with Fanduel. They have the best player props. They have so many specials and bonuses and boosts. So go ahead and hop in there in the description below. And yeah, we'll hop in it. We got the Atlanta Hawks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Hawks opening up as a 3.5 point road favorite with the over-under at 236. Head-to-head, Charlotte 2-1 in their last three head-to-head meetings, 2-1 covering the spread. The overs hit in 2 out of the last 3 matchups. Let's see, don't really see any major injuries. No Miles Bridges for Charlotte. He's on the suspension. And then you got Atlanta. Pretty much have the same roster as last year. Nothing crazy. Charlotte, pretty much same roster again as well. I mean, they have an exciting young roster. We'll see how well they play here. Atlanta, they are just 2-4 against Charlotte. 2-4 covering against Charlotte here. I don't know. I think Charlotte's a good underdog at home today, getting plus money, plus the points at home here. You got LaMelo Ball. I mean, got some solid players there for both sides, and we'll see if the Hornets can take that next step. Because they have a good backcourt with Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington, Gordon Hayward. I mean, they've got some pieces. Mark Williams looked pretty promising as a big man last year, and I'm gonna take a shot with the Hornets plus 3.5 at home. Next matchup, we got the Boston Celtics versus the New York Knicks. Boston opening up as a 3.5 point road favorite with the over-under at 224. Head-to-head, the Knicks are 6-4, 6-4 covering the spread. The overs hit in 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Do not see any injuries, so we're getting full healthy squads in this matchup, which is good. Boston, they've definitely struggled against the Knicks, but look what Boston did this offseason. They brought in Porzingis, brought in Drew Holiday. Huge additions to the squad here. I mean, this starting five is about as elite as it comes here. The bench, kind of questionable. They got Peyton Pritchard off the bench, who's looked very good this offseason. So their bench is very questionable, I'd say. And the Knicks, have the same squad. Didn't really make any moves. They still got RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle, which I don't think was the best pairing here. Brunson balled out last year, but this Boston team is going to be very tough to beat. And I think I'm going to take Boston minus 3.5 and money line on the road. Next matchup, we got the Houston Rockets versus the Orlando Magic. Magic opening up as a 4-point home favorite with the over-under at 220.5. Head-to-head, Houston 6-4, 4-6 covering the spread. The overs hit in 7 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Not really seeing any injuries in this matchup here. Houston, they're 10-4 against Orlando. They've been very good against Orlando here. Houston making some free agency splashes, kind of retooling their whole team here. Bringing in Jeff Green, Reggie Bullock, Boban, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Aaron Holiday, but still keeping promising young players like Jalen Green and Sengun and Jabari Smith, their first-round pick last year. So, and they got Cam Whitmore, Almond Thompson. This is a very interesting young team here. They got a lot of young talent, and then the Magic, led by led by their star, Paolo Banchero, and then they got the Wagner brothers, which were very good. It's a very good young matchup for both teams here, but I'm liking the Rockets on the road here. I just think the low roster they built is pretty good. I like the roster they built, I really do, and I'm gonna take the Rockets +4 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Washington Wizards versus the Indiana Pacers. Pacers opening up as a 5-point home favorite with the over/under at 235. Head-to-head, Washington 6-4, 5-4-1 covering the spread. The over sit in 7 out of the last 10 meetings. As far as injuries go, Washington, no Landry Shamet, Anthony Gill, or Johnny Davis. And that's really all for the injury report there. Kyle Kuzma is good to go. Washington, 8-4 head-to-head against Indiana. So they've been good head-to-head here. And, yeah, Washington, getting Jordan Poole. And we'll see how Washington looks. Jordan Poole is probably going to score a lot of points for this team here. And then you got a pretty, interesting roster for the Pacers here. It's a decent looking squad. They brought in Bruce Brown Jr. from the Nuggets. That was a big pickup for them. Still have Buddy Hield, Miles Turner, and obviously Tyrese Halliburton, who was a star last year. And so they have a pretty good starting five. Benedict Mathurin looked pretty promising last year, and I'm really liking the Pacers at home. I'm just not in love with the Wizards roster. It just doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. Aside from Kuzma and Jordan Poole, I'd say it's a pretty weak squad. And I think I'm gonna take a shot with the Pacers -5 and money line at home. Next matchup, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Cavs opening up as a 1-point road favorite with the over/under at 219.5. Head-to-head, Brooklyn is 6-4. 4-5-1 covering the spread. The overs hit in 7 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. No Jared Allen for Cleveland. He'll be out. That's pretty much a main injury for this matchup here. Cleveland, they've struggled against Brooklyn. 3-6 against Brooklyn. 2-5 on the road against Brooklyn. You're looking at this Brooklyn team. Pretty much kind of has the same squad as last year, led by Donovan Mitchell. They got Karis LeVert. Brought in Max Strus from the Heat. So they have a prominent shooter. And, still have Mobley, who is out, but still have a solid squad there. Brooklyn, we're going to see Ben Simmons playing in full capacity here. So we'll see what Ben Simmons looks like. Mikal Bridges was great last year. Got a lot of young players here, like young, good players on this Nets team. I think they're kind of a sneaky underdog at home here. Not having Jared Allen definitely hurts them for this matchup here. Definitely hurts their big man depth right there. And I like the Nets at home. I think it's a 1-point spread for a reason. And I'll take Brooklyn money line and +1 at home. Next matchup, we got the Detroit Pistons versus the Miami Heat. Heat opening up as a 9-point home favorite with the over/under at 218. Head-to-head, Miami's 7-3. They are just 2-7-1 covering the spread. The over sit in 5 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. No Bojan Bogdanovic for Detroit. Miami, no Josh Richardson. He's out. That was definitely one of their pickups for this offseason. And then, Miami missing out on the Lillard sweepstakes, which they were trying to get. So that definitely kind of hurts them. Detroit, they have a lot of young talent here. Brought in Joe Harris. They got Alec Burks, Marvin Bagley, Wiseman, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes, and Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Duran. I mean, they have a lot of young talent here. Picked up Uzur Thompson in the draft. We'll see what he looks like. And then the Heat really stayed the same. I mean, they kept Kevin Love and Lowry. Bam, obviously. Tyler Herro. I mean, they didn't really bring in anybody. That's really going to help this squad, except for Josh Richardson, who's going to play a lot. Detroit 6-1 covering against Miami. I just think this is a lot of points here, and we'll see what Miami looks like. Obviously, Miami will be a solid team this year, but they haven't been able to cover the spread really against Detroit, and I think I'll take a shot with Detroit +9 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Toronto Raptors. Minnesota opening up as a 1-point road favorite with the over-under at 222.5. Head-to-head, Toronto's 8-2, 7-3 covering the spread. The overs hit in 4 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Not seeing any crazy injuries. No Jaden McDaniels for Minnesota, and that's pretty much the only major injury in this matchup. Minnesota, these numbers are crazy. They're 1-18 on the road against Toronto. 2-9 straight up against Toronto. They've really struggled against the Raptors here. And you're looking at this Minnesota team, kind of the same as last year. You know, they got Mike Conley, Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. So yeah, definitely looking for a big year for Anthony Edwards here, and to lead this team and do big things. And then Toronto, you know, in the offseason, picking up Dennis Schroeder. They got Thaddeus Young, bringing in some veterans. They got Jacob Poeltl, who they traded for last year. And, you know, led by Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes. I mean, it's a very, you know, Grady Dick, who played a lot last year. I'm liking Toronto at home here. If you just look at the numbers, Minnesota has just literally not been able to win in Toronto in many years. And I'm going to have to lean with Toronto money line and +1 at home. Next matchup, we got the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis opening up as a 1-point home favorite with the over-under at 224.5. Head-to-head, Memphis is 6-4, 5-5 covering the spread. The overs hit in 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. As far as injuries go, don't see any major ones. Obviously, no John Morant. Actually, I mean, there are some major ones. Steven Adams out for the year, which that's unfortunate. Steven Adams is, you know, very solid. Brandon Clark out. John Morant out for the first 25 games here. And then the Pelicans, looking like we're getting a full healthy squad with McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Zion. Pelicans, you know, the numbers, they haven't been good at Memphis. 0-5 on the road against Memphis here. I'm really liking this Pelican squad. They kind of kept the same. They didn't really get anybody. You know, they still have Valanciunas, Larry Nance Jr., you know, Herbert Jones, who was looking like a very elite defender last year. So, and then a bunch of younger prospects. They do have Dyson Daniels, who's a very nice upcoming young guy. And then Memphis, you know, you got Derrick Rose, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane. Team looking about the same as last year. They brought in Derrick Rose, but yeah, missing some of those big men and no John Morant really hurts the squad. I think they're going to struggle for these first 25 games until those guys come back. And I think I'm going to take the Pelicans money line and +1 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Chicago Bulls. Bulls opening up as a 1.5-point home favorite with the over-under at 227.5. Head-to-head, OKC 6-4, 5-4-1 covering the spread. The overs hit in 8 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Let's see. No, I don't see any major injuries in this matchup here. Obviously, no Lonzo Ball. I don't know if he'll ever return. We really don't know. OKC 8-4 against Chicago, so they've been good head-to-head. 4-1-1 against Chicago covering. You look at this OKC team, very good young team. Obviously, with SGA, played great last year. Lou Dort, that lockdown defender role. You know, obviously they got Josh Giddey and Chet Holmgren. We're gonna get a full, hopefully Chet Holmgren stays healthy, and because he was looking very good in the preseason here. Main Deng, who's a very taller guard, which looked pretty good. They got a lot of young talent here. And then the Bulls kind of kept the same team, led by DeRozan, Vooch, and Zach LaVine, Caruso. I mean, they got a very solid squad here, but just kind of underperformed last year. I'm liking the Thunder on the road. I think they're the better team here. And getting Chet Holmgren's going to do them wonders this year because he's just so electric on both sides of the ball. And yeah, I'm going to take OKC money line and +1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Sacramento Kings versus the Utah Jazz. Kings opening up as a 1.5 point road favorite with the over-under at 236. Head-to-head, Utah 7-3, 7-2-1 covering the spread. The over's hit in 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. And I don't see any major injuries. Trey Lyles is out for Sacramento. Sacramento, they've struggled against Utah. They're 1-7 on the road against Utah here. But I really like this Sacramento team, led by Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. Still have Harrison Barnes, brought in JaVale McGee. They didn't really do anything crazy. Have Kevin Huerter, Davion Mitchell. Yeah, very good squad. I mean, they were very good last year. Utah really didn't do anything in the offseason to get better, I'd say. Still Jordan Clarkson, Lauri Markkanen, who was a stud last year. They traded for John Collins, which was interesting. John Collins is a very solid player. We're going to see how he plays here. They got Colin Sexton. They have a good little squad. Yeah, I like the Kings here on the road. They've just so good last year and didn't lose anybody. So, yeah, I'll take Kings -1.5 and money line on the road. Next matchup, we got the Dallas Mavericks versus the San Antonio Spurs. Dallas opening up as a 4-point road favorite with the over-under at 230.5. Head-to-head, Dallas is 8-2, 4-5-1 covering the spread. The over's hit in 7 out of the last 10 head-to-head matchups. Let's see, no Devontae Graham for the Spurs. That's really the only major injury here. Dallas 5-0 on the road against San Antonio, 7-1 straight up against the Spurs here. And we're going to see what the Mavs look like. Obviously, I'm a Mavs fan, so I try to not have my Mavs picks be biased, but it's hard. It's very hard. But we're going to get a full year with Kyrie and Luka. We'll see how that works. So far, it's pretty solid here, but the Mavs not doing anything crazy in the offseason. They brought back Seth Curry, which is good off the bench. They drafted Derek Lively Jr., or Derek Lively II, who I think will be a good big man, a good young big man who will just pick and roll and defend the paint. Prosper looked very good in the preseason. That was a good rookie. And, didn't really do anything else crazy. Brought in Derrick Jones Jr. Grant Williams. I do like the Grant Williams pick just because he's a great defender. Brought in Rashawn Holmes. We're going to see how this team plays here. And we'll see how Luka and Curry and Kyrie play together. And then obviously, the Spurs getting Victor Wembanyama, who's looked amazing in the preseason here. They got a very young team. Remember, they got Sochan from last season, who looked pretty good. And obviously led by, Keldon Johnson, who really is their main scorer on the squad. And taking the Mavs on the road here, game 1. They've just been dominant against the Spurs. Victor's going to be very fun to watch here. I still think the Spurs team's pretty weak. And, they're in a rebuild mode. Victor's going to be very fun to watch this year. No one's going to be able to really defend him, but Mavs on the road, they've been dominant. Kyrie, Luka coming into this healthy. Give me Luka and Kyrie on the road here, and we'll take the Mavs -4. Then the last matchup, we got the Portland Trailblazers versus the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers opening up as a 9-point home favorite with the over-under at 228. Head-to-head, the Clippers are 9-1, 7-3 covering the spread. The over's hit in 6 out of the last 10 head-to-head meetings. Let's see. Don't see any major injuries. No Terrence Mann or Josh Primo here. Portland 0-5 against the Clippers. 0-7 on the road against the Clippers here. And, to make things worse, they, Obviously they lost Lillard. It's a very interesting roster because they got Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon, DeAndre Ayton, but I'm seeing that they're trying to move Brogdon. We'll see how long Brogdon stays there. Anthony Simons, Thibault. I mean, they have a solid little squad. But I just feel like Portland's not going to keep all these guys. That's just my thoughts. So we'll see how that works out. But a pretty good starting five right there for Portland. And, they drafted Scoot Henderson. So we'll see his debut here. A lot of big hopes for Scoot Henderson. And then the Clippers, not really do anything crazy in free agency. Kind of have the same team with Batum, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Morris, Leonard, Covington, Plumlee, Powell, Zubac. And as long as Kawhi, no injuries right now to report. So, when this team's healthy, they're very good. It's just they're not ever healthy. But when they're healthy, they're very tough to beat. And yeah, I think I'm going to take the Clippers -9 in money line at home here. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Wednesday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Thursday. Have a good one.